everyone. Welcome again to K Podcast. You know what? Let me just play this music in the background while we continue this particular topic. So, I'm gonna say this. The last few days, I've been seeing a lot of people complain about, child-free people. People that don't have or do not want to have kids in general. So not only men, but also women. And I'm gonna say this. I do understand there is also a spectrum of men having a problem finding a mate because of how the bar has literally not exist anymore. Because a lot of men are not willing to find a mate that they can provide for. That is also one of the reasons why a lot of women are not wanting to be married or have children because they feel safer if anything would happen in that marriage for a lot of the women to live without having the burden of caring for a child. So when it comes to relationship, uh, we are going to dive into that. But first, we're gonna dive into the reason why politicians and a lot of billionaires do care about child-free people in general. And Elon Musk has been one of the most oh, the music is too loud. Okay, thank you for informing me about that. I am gonna lower the volume. Okay, I hope that is better. So you know what, give me a moment, someone is at my door. Okay, I am back. Um, so this particular topic, there are different sides. We're gonna talk about relationship, and we're gonna talk about politics and business when it comes to having children. I think let's go first towards the billionaires and the politicians. One of the reasons why, if you notice, a lot of billionaires, like the very wealthy ones, are losing their minds and trying to have a lot of kids. And I feel like they had this thing saying, you know what, they want their children to populate the earth. And I'm like, well, I hope so too, because this is the thing. If you have a lot of children, your children are also going to be your workers. So I rather have that. To be sincere with you guys, I rather have billionaires have a lot of children so that in future those children can work for them. Because this is another thing why a lot of these individuals fearmonger a lot of people. They will tell you know what, we go in extinct. You know what, there is a particular demography that is going extinct, or we're gonna lose population collapse and all of that. The main thing is, it is fear mongering. It is to change a lot of mind of those people that do not want to change their mind into having children, telling you, oh, this particular race, this particular people are going to go, there's going to be a population decline, you're going to become the minority. But the real truth behind all of this is that they're going to lose workers. They want us as an individual to continue producing workers. Let's not forget about that. Let's not take away our eyes from what it is. If people decide to not have more children, they're going to lose workers. A lot of people are going to go on pension, and they're not going to be getting off their wealth like that. They're not going to be getting all that wealth like that. So even though they try to send it, because I'm going to say this, I had a lot of people saying, oh, there are a lot of billionaires that are trying to have as many kids as they want. And I'm like, yes, they are doing that because they know the common folks like to imitate. The common folks like to imitate the millionaires, the billionaires. They like to follow on their footsteps. If they see them doing something, they would want to imitate that. So if they come out as very wealthy people saying we want to have a lot of kids, they also understand that the common folk, the normal people, the common folks are gonna want to do the same and be like, oh, they're having a lot of kids, I want to do that. But what I want a lot of people to understand is when it comes to kids, when it comes to politicians and billionaires, it's mostly factory for them. It's money, it's fam. It's money and fam. Your kids are gonna be workers for their children, by the way. Do you think you're gonna wake up one day or you're gonna give birth? Don't forget, a lot of people are paying for themselves, health insurance, all of that, education. You're gonna cater for your kids. Many of these governments are not helping you out. You're not helping anybody out with raising these children. They're not helping anybody out with healthcare and all of that. They are not helping in any sector. So you're gonna have to raise your kid. It is a cheaper labor for them to have people with a notion of going to have as much kids to work for them, and they do not pay their dues. And don't forget, not only would these children grow up to work for their kids at the end of the day, because do you think their kids are all of a sudden going to start working, construction jobs, even if they have many children? Although that's exactly why I say it's fear mongering. They know that if they do it, the poor people are also gonna want to imitate that. They're gonna want to do that and say, the rich is doing it. I want to do it because I see them doing it. See, they can do it, but they also understand that if you do it, your children are gonna end up, being workers to them. They're gonna continue increasing their profit, and that's why a lot of billionaires are mostly, afraid. And the truth is, they work hand in hand with the politicians most of the time. They do work hand in hand when it comes to, crying about. That's why you saw the Roe v. Wade being overturned, because the factory the children factory is going down. You get me? What they are getting, they were expecting a boom in the pandemic. There was no boom. There was no boom. And it is very disappointing for them because they need this, this wheel to keep turning. They absolutely need it. It is where their profit is, it is where their power comes from, and many of that. So I'm just going to be bringing up some videos over here. You guys know I always do bring videos up. And we're going to dissect each video that I'm going to be bringing up in here. So without further ado, let me check on one of the videos that I have installed for this particular topic. Well, today you guys are quite lucky because I am going to be doing, I think, at least up to 3 live streams today because I am absolutely free. But tomorrow, I'm pretty sure not. Tomorrow, I might just do one. So let's bring this one up first.
Face in 20 years is population collapse. Collapse. I want to emphasize this. The biggest issue in 20 years will be population collapse. Not explosion, collapse. It's very easy to see what the world will look like in 20 years because humans have a 20-year boot sequence. So like you say, okay, well, who was born last year? Okay, now you know what the world looked like in 20 years. It's that easy.
I absolutely agree with that. The population problem is going to be facing huge challenge. 1.4 billion people in China sounds a lot, but I think next 20 years we'll see this thing will bring big trouble to China, and the population decreasing of the speed of population decreasing is going to speed up. Yes. And you call it collapse. I agree with
accelerating
that.
Collapse.
Okay, I understand that everybody's crying about population collapse, but This is the thing that amazed me. A lot of these people that are crying about population collapse are the same people that wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. Let's just call it what it is. They wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. But they have this mindset that, oh, we are collapsing. We should have more kids. The decline is here. And I'm like, when was the last time you guys sat down and be like, you know what, we have a lot of money? Because these are not only billionaires, they are trillionaires. They are people that have so much that if they give to the rest of the world, we will all be a little bit okay. When was the last? And I'm not saying give all of their money. I'm saying even if you give 5%, if they would all come together, all of them, and decide to give 5% of their wealth to the world each month, I think they would do a lot. They would do a lot in people's life. But that is the thing. They do not want to do that. They do not want to pay for this population collapse to recover from this collapse. So another thing is, who are you expecting to actually turn back this collapse? Who are they looking at when it comes to this population collapse? Mostly it's women. That's why you have a lot of people talking about women that don't want to have kids. That's why you see a lot of people going after child-free women and child-free people in general. If a man comes out and be like, I don't want to have kids, people will also go after him, be like, you don't know, you might change your mind. And mostly women understand that at the end of the day, even if a man decide to have a kid or not, he could definitely just move out and move away and not see his kid. Who is going to be the responsible parents? Mostly it is the women that raise the kids. It is the women that raise their children. The responsibilities always fall on the women. And that's why nowadays there were a lot of women, young women, that are saying they are not going to have kids because of all that responsibility financially and emotionally. So I'm going to bring up another video over here. Let me take this one down.
CDC released the numbers about the birth rates going down, and Fox News has an opinion piece on why they think the birth rate is going down, and it is not going to be what you think. I definitely got a chuckle out of this one. You guys hang tight for this. Okay, it says the Wall Street Journal ran a story on May 26 noting that the U.S. birth rate is down sharply from 15 years ago, as women report that economic and social obstacles are causing them to have fewer children than they want. The reasons cited in the piece focused on the material, the inability to afford a house while paying student loans, men lacking earning power compared to the female cohort, and women being better educated than men. And
so you see, all the time when this particular topic comes up, it's always the blame put on the women, the ones that they know at the end of the day will have to bet the majority of the population. Humanity does rest on women's hand. And yes, men do contribute, but at the end of the day, the making of the child path is hard on the woman path, not hard on the man path. The man goes in there, lays in there, deposit what he has to deposit. The mother, though, have to do a lot of labor. She has to go through labor. And if that man is not there or cannot provide, she has to also carry on all of that responsibility. And this is the thing that they don't want to talk about. When was the last time the minimum wage was raised? Because people are still earning. I've heard some people talking about, oh, I used to earn, 20 euros in my days. I've had an older person around the age of 70 talking about he used to earn around 20 euros. And why are the people now complaining about earning 20 euros? But because back in his days, it was okay. But now people are complaining. And I'm like, 20 euros. Some people are earning 16 bucks over here per hour. And the minimum wage is not being raised, but there are more and more billionaires. There are more and more people that are greedy and keeping the money for themselves and not spreading that money. You know, when they talk about cut the taxes for the rich, a lot of people think, oh, if they cut the tax for the rich, it's gonna, trickle down to the rest of the people. And normally that never happens. That never happens. Trickling down money from the rich, no, it's just gonna make the rich become more richer, and the poor people have to pay more and more taxes. The tax is gonna increase on everything. I'm gonna give you an example. Switzerland is very close to me over here, and Switzerland is now the paradise for wealthy people. You get me? It's now known as people are even saying is more wealthy people are moving to Switzerland because of the tax cut. They don't even have to pay for a lot of things than in Monaco. And if you don't know, Monaco was known as the place where all rich people wanted to live in. Now they're moving to Switzerland. Who do you think is paying all those tax that the rich are not paying? Who is gonna be the one paying for all those tax? Is the minimum wage earners, the workers, people that are working minimum wage that don't even have nothing. Like, look at the house rents, the rental properties, rate have skyrocketed. People cannot find housing, home, nothing. And this is when I always look at topics of people talking about cutting tax for the rich, and I'm like, it is not working. It has not been working, because it never trickled down. This is just a manipulation tactics of saying, oh, if the rich, get the tax cut, you get some. No, it has never happened. Till now, it's even getting worse. You and I, everybody else that is working minimum wage, have to pay the tax that the rich are supposed to be paying. But they're just going to be hoarding that money and keeping it all for themselves. And that's why when they talk about population decline, it gets in my feelings, because I'm like, what are you crying about population decline for? You wouldn't spit on somebody if they were on fire. You're all hoarding the power and the money, and then because your factory workers, you expect, like, many of these people, I just don't understand them. They look at us, they look at the normal wage earners, the people that are not in power, as fam, as if you are in a fam, and they're trying to cultivate you for you to move on and just go over there, in their factories, in whatever workspace they give you, and work until the day you drop. Let's not forget, the age of retirement has always been increasing. In France last time, if you guys remember, they had a protest for a long time, because they want to increase how long people can work. And I understand some people were like, oh, people from France were lazy. No, they are not lazy. No, they are not lazy. Nobody's lazy. Everybody should be able to have a time that you work and you stop, instead of people trying to increase the retirement age. I don't want to work for the rest of my life till I drop dead. And a lot of people are gonna have to do that. They're not even gonna enjoy. Like, if you retire at the age of 70, what are you enjoying? You're gonna be old. Your life is gonna be sucked out of you. You've spent your whole life working for somebody, stressing, making money for somebody, making all that money for somebody that didn't even know your name. And then you turn 70 and they give you a change to go for vacation. And you're old. What are you going to do in your old age? You're going to be walking around with your knees are going to be hurting. Your back are going to be hurting. Some of you are not even going to be able to pay for your medical bills. And this is the factor that a lot of people are not looking into.
The teen birth rate has dropped 78% since its peak in 1991 due to greater access to contraception. But a low birth rate has a significant negative implications for national viability. Not only does a low birth rate jeopardize pension systems such as Social Security, but it's also a drag on the economy. The article cited President Joe Biden as proposing paid family leave, subsidized childcare, and federally funded preschools as ways to convince people to have more children. Now, if you would just stop here, it seems reasonable. The things that he is focused on are things that we have talked about. And what Joe Biden has talked about might actually spur something. But let's continue. Yet, looking to the states that are massive differences in birth rates among women 15 to 44, I hate when they include teenagers as women. Women in the.
But this is the thing. What that is why, whenever people talk about teenagers, these politicians that are out here talking about we care about kids, they really don't care about kids. Let's be sincere. When it comes to a reproductive system or children just giving birth, that part they don't care about kids. If the child is pregnant, yeah, that child's gonna have to have the kid, because to them it is business. That kid that child is about to give birth to is gonna grow up and work for the factory. It's money to them, even though they don't care. Even though they're not going to help that kid in any way. Because at the end of the day, they're really not going to help the kid. Let me continue.
Number one, women in number one, South Dakota, bore 53% more babies per capita than their peers in last place, Vermont. What explains the difference? Biden and much of the left would offer a material explanation. Women don't have children because they can't afford to and they can't find childcare. Yes, that's what women are saying. There are, however, 3 factors that statistically predict higher birth rates: a state's cost of living, a lower cost of living associated with higher birth rate, the share of residents who seldom or never attend religious services with a lower connection to organized religion associated with lower birth rates, and the 2020 vote for Joe Biden, with the states that gave Biden the largest share having the lowest birth rates. Of all the factors, the vote for Joe Biden was the strongest predictor of a low birth rate. Lord Jesus, Beyonce, Buddha. The rest of this opinion is just straight up BS, so there's no real reason to examine it. But they were so close. It was like they kind of listened to women, but then they just decided that it was Joe Biden. y'all weigh in, like, comment, share.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like they just use Joe Biden's name to gaslight everybody at that point. I'm like, hey, okay, let's say it's Joe Biden's fault. Okay, so what are we gonna do about it? That's another topic. What are we gonna do about it? Since it was Joey's fault, what's your plan then? Because we are not gonna be talking about the fault and not talk about the result and not talk about the change and what to do about this particular situation, and also about the minimum wage. And yes, Elon Musk can have as many children, all these rich people. In fact, I hope they have many kids. I hope they have many kids as much as they want. I want them to repopulate the whole earth. Yes, let them do it, because I only have one kid from my own self. And I'm gonna tell you this: when I think about having another kid, I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna have another kid so that they can grow up and go and work for somebody and make somebody rich. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it. I'm not. Yes, I was naive once and have one child, and now I'm like, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not doing that. Now we're gonna go on to the next one over here. Let me bring this one down. I said, let them have the whole children thing. Their kids are gonna grow up and work for them. I mean, it's fair is fair. Let them kids grow up and work for them. Let them repopulate the whole earth so that their kids can work for them and earn minimum wage, and then they can fight all over it. Because at the end of the day, fighting is always gonna be involved. Okay. So we got that. I think this is the next one. Let me see.
The sterilization at this point in your life, are you just like, there's no possible way this could ever change?
Like, my friends, or honestly just people in society, ask me and they will say, really, like, you don't think that you'll change your mind? My response is usually, would you ask a parent that? So would you ask a parent, well, what if you change your mind about wanting kids?
So this is about a lady that called into this podcast, and she was trying to explain herself. I don't understand why people got to explain themselves if they want to be child free, both men and women. There are also men out there that don't want to have kids. It's not only women. So I don't understand why people that are child free or want to be child free or have decided already that they're going to be child free need to explain anything to anyone. I don't think they owe anybody any kind of explanation, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna be out there taking care of the bills when when that child comes. You're gonna have to take care of that bills yourself. You're gonna have to work your ass off at the end of the day to pay all of that bills for those kids if you have more than one, and it's gonna be a burden on you. So anybody that have opinion on child-free people, I'm like, it is none of your business. Let them live their lives. Fair is fair.
And now you have 3 of them. You can't go back either. Like, kids are just as permanent. And in regards to that, I would, in an alternate universe, if I was to change my mind, in my mind right now, there's no possibility of that, but I would rather regret not having children than regret having them. I feel completely fulfilled again in my life now. And I really cannot see that changing. I can get my, I guess, fix for children through my nieces and nephews, but no, I don't have any desire, and I will never have a desire to be a full-time parent.
Okay, so that is one of them ones, and we're gonna go to the next one. I want to play all of this as fast as possible, and so that I can get on to the next topic, because I'm planning on going live again. Probably it's gonna be around 3 times today. This is the first one I'm going, so 2 more lives coming up, probably today.
Children, but those of you in your mid-20s to mid-30s flexing about not having or wanting children will live a very lonely life once you hit your mid-40s. Can we stop with this bullshit? If you want kids, do it. If you don't want kids, don't do it. It literally should not matter to anybody else except for you and the partner you are going to have a kid with or not have a kid with. And also, if you're trying to have a child just so that you're not lonely in your mid-40s, okay, that is possibly one of the worst reasons to have a kid. And this dude was like, procreation is the only thing of value humans can do. Like, that is really
I mean, that's just reducing humanity as a whole. Procreation is the only things. Like, hey, I want to live my life. A lot of people out here want to live their life. They want to be able to retire early and not think about mortgage. And even this is the thing, a lot of people are talking about, when I hear that particular sentence, procreation are the only thing what human can do. See, the only way procreation is gonna succeed is if people start earning money. If the government change a lot of policies and give people access to money, reduce the tax, or actually tax the rich. They've been crying tax the rich for a long time. At this point, it's like it's just like a wolf howling. They talk about, we're gonna tax the rich. They never tax them. They never tax them, and instead the taxes increase for the poor and for the for minimum wage, for people that are earning minimum wage, but the rich keep becoming richer and earning more. So when I hear it's only what humanity can do is to procreate, I'm like, see, this is not the 1500s. This is not the Middle Age. This is, in fact, in the Middle Age, it was even terrible because of the pest and all of that. But let's say before then, when people were living off of their crops, they were living off of their farms, you didn't have to pay tax then. If you were living off of your farms and your crops, yes, you could have 10 kids, 20 kids, because you're earning what you are sowing on the soil. But nowadays, everything is taxed. If you inherit money, you get taxed. And don't forget, if you buy something, you get taxed again. So the tax is absolutely out of hand. If you look at the whole thing, the whole system, everything is taxed. Anytime you receive money, you buy something, when you even earn your salary, when you get your income, you're taxed. It's tax, 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 and all this while the rich is just sitting down and doing absolutely nothing with their money. Instead, they're thinking about going to space. Did you guys hear about that new space topic that they're talking about? They're gonna be collecting, how much did they say? Is it 300 and something thousand to fly people to space so that they can see? I saw that stuff. You know what? I'm probably gonna do a video about that one later on, because there is a topic about that I want to do later on. They want to go back in space as if they didn't learn a lesson from the Titanic issue that we had last time. You remember the Titanic, the one, yeah, with the billionaires that they sank and imploded. Nobody found them, but now we got a new topic. They're trying to go to space. I said, wow. Okay, let's continue.
Telling if you think the only value you add is having sex. There were tons of comments who were like, oh, well, I'm in my mid-40s and I'm not lonely at all. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And this person's like, oh, you're lying. Kids are not your accessories. They are not there to curb your loneliness. They are human beings and deserve to be treated as human beings. You hear about older parents who are now in retirement homes or like nursing homes, and nobody visits them, even though they have like 5 kids. Why do you think that is? I know a lot of us have been conditioned to believe that the ultimate dream is to get married, have 2 or 3 kids, live in a very suburban neighborhood, I don't know, fucking with the white picket fence or whatever. But if that's what you want to do, that's fine, go for it, pop out those kids or have kids or whatever. But don't force other people to live by that standard if that's not what they want. I really don't understand why so many people are so nosy about other people having or not having kids. Like, even random strangers on the internet. Like, what does it matter to you personally? Like, really? Being a parent is cool. Being child-free is cool. They're just different choices, and we should just let people make the decision that is right for their life.
And she's absolutely right with that. But the thing is mostly the people that are nosy about other people. There are 2 factors there. They're hearing they're listening to the news where the politicians are crying about collapse of the birth rate collapse, or they actually miserable themselves and they want you to join the group of misery. I'm just saying it. See, I got a kid over here and I'm gonna tell you guys, hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows out here. I'm just saying. I know a lot of women do like hiding that stuff. I'm one of those women that whenever somebody that is young, I've gotten a lot of young people that will come to me around the age of 20, 19 and ask me, oh, how is your life as a mom? And I'm like, see, I'm going to give you the full tea and I'm not going to hide anything, because I want you to understand when you get into this, you're fully prepared to go there. You're fully prepared. That's why I only have 1 kid. I'm not having more kids out here. I'm not going to be doing that. There's a lot of liability and responsibility on that. So we're gonna go to the next one over here. And for the other people that are nosy, like the politicians, they're just looking for factory workers. It's just what it is. They're looking for workers. So let's get to the next video. I think I had this one the last time. Okay.
Birth rates. Why do you think that is?
I guess people are getting smart. Not to mention the easy access to birth control and Plan Bs. Back in the day, they didn't care. Even trust condoms. They just go ahead and screw, and that's it.
Do you think that's a sign of societal decline, in the sense that we don't have priority to want to create a family?
There's a lot of people who just want to go out and have fun, experience their lives. Parents will say, hey, don't have kids at my age. Go out and have fun. Even my sisters have told their kids, encourage her daughters to not have kids at that age and just have fun in their 20s.
And so I think it should be everybody should decide for themselves what they want to do, if they want to have kids or if they don't want to have kids. But I'm gonna say, for me, I have already contributed 1 to society. And if she grows up and be like, Mom, I don't want to have kids, I'm gonna definitely be on her side. I'm not gonna go around going insane and say, oh, you gotta have children. No, I'm gonna be 100% on her side. So I'm going to bring up this next one over here. So this is going to be the one that's going to be, we're going to be closing with.
population collapse.
But the population's growing, right?
No, it's not. So, I mean, I should say the like lifespan is increasing. People are living longer. That's the only reason why the population of Earth isn't plummeting, but it will plummet. So, just like one metric to track is the ratio of adult diapers to baby diapers. Like, at what point does a country have more adult diapers than baby diapers? And like Japan went past that point over 10 years ago.
Well, true. But this is another thing. Like in countries like Japan and, South Korea, I feel like, I mean, I feel like in countries like Japan and China and all of those other countries, I feel like the reason why they're having the decline, don't forget, is China for once made it a policy to only have one kid. So that was on them. That was on China. That was on them for making that policy. They said they were overpopulating, there was no space. But this is the thing, they have more older people now than younger people, and there are not a lot of younger people to take care of the older ones. But that one is on them. Another thing is a lot of these people are workaholics. They have to work for a long time to earn something to live for. You get me? They can't buy expensive things. They are not rich. You get me? They can't afford a lot of things. The apartments, especially if we're talking about Japan, the apartments, they are very expensive. So of course, young people are gonna think about, money. Money is gonna be the main factor. Young people, young women and men are gonna definitely think about money first, and they're not gonna even think about having kids, because that's another kind of responsibility. Unless the government, let's just say, unless the government decides, you know what, we're gonna take care of all financial topic considering any child that is born. I think we can solve, if they really want to solve this problem, I think they should go about it this way and say, you know what, if you have a kid, we're gonna pay for everything for that kid until the kid grows up. Then I'm sure there will be a lot of people that will want to have kids. They're gonna pay for the healthcare, school, food, everything, like 100% of that child's life. If they can do that, I think the population will actually, come back and grow again. But until then, as far as we're still facing this financial problem and the minimum wage has not been increased, people are not increasing their salary. The minimum wage is still there. People are still working minimum wage. We will continue to see the decline of childbirth. We will continue to see a lot of people not want to have kids, because who want to be suffering with a kid? Because this is the thing, paying for children is very expensive. There is a lot of factors that go into it: the health, the clothing, the food, the things the kids need, like even playthings that children need, toys. Everything is expensive, especially when it comes to children. It's very expensive. So I'm not going to be taking care of myself and then taking care of another person and then any minimum wage. That does not help. And then don't forget about the rental prices that is going up. You're going to pay for house rent. How much are you going to have left? This is another thing a lot of people are not understanding. How much are you going to have left? You're just going to have enough for groceries at the end of the month. Every end of the month, you're going to have enough for groceries. Then you are just 100% of your life working for somebody, because you can't even do anything with the money. You can't do anything with the money at the end of the day. The money is just wasted for other things. That's why I feel like, I think they should tax the rich, or they decide, both politicians and the rich come together and, do something about it. I feel like they should do something about it. The rich should be able to pay tax. Them not paying tax is actually making the economy go down. It's actually putting the burden on the people that are earning minimum wage, because those people have to then cover that tax that they are not paying. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for being here. Do not forget to press that like button, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this particular topic in the commentary section. And don't forget to press that like button and subscribe. And I will see you all later on again, because I'm coming back probably not long. I'm probably going to give myself 10 to 15-minute break before I come back with the next topic. Now, with that being said, thank you all for being here. Press that like button, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one.